Welcome to Wired Up Retro, episode 62. Today I'm going to be reviewing and demonstrating the newly released Hyperkin Trooper 2 joystick, which is USB compatible. It's designed to work with your computer, RetroPie, and even PlayStation 3 on some games. It's going to work very well. Now, the first thing that really needs to be pointed out is that this is modeled after the original Atari 2600 classic joystick, just as the Hyperkin Trooper had been, which is the predecessor to this. There's a difference. Obviously, this has the additional button. If you're a lefty and you want to switch hands, it allows you to do that because it's got a right-hand fire button, not just the left hand, like the original Atari joystick had. So I'm showing you a little bit of footage of me doing an unboxing of the Hyperkin Trooper 2 joystick. And I was just trying to be a little extra careful opening this up so it wouldn't tear the box. The box itself is kind of fragile, so just be very careful when trying to dive in because you'll probably end up tearing it if you're not very careful. All right, the Trooper 2 controller. All right, got some concave buttons, and it's a little bit more clicky in feel than an Atari 2600 original joystick. It's got the beveled corners that the original Trooper had. Now, when compared to the original Trooper, the overall look of it is just a little bit more neon with these aqua-colored buttons, though they decided to go with a wood grain accent to give it that 70s vibe, and it's kind of a darker colored wood grain, and I think that it looks really pretty classy. Now, it's built solidly with very sturdy plastic, and the rubber on the stick is of high quality, and it definitely feels comfortable in the hands, especially with these beveled off corners, which the original Trooper did have. But what the original Trooper didn't have are these 4 additional buttons. On the back side, where your index finger might rest, are 2 buttons called the RB and LB buttons. I think those stand for right bumper, left bumper. And on the front are 2 more buttons that are labeled Start and Select. The 2 on the front side are different from those on the back in that they have a much more audible click when pressed. The ones on the back side just feel like normal controller buttons. So everyone's going to hold the Atari 2600 type controllers in their own way. For years, I played 2600 games, always holding it and cradling it in the hands like this. On the Trooper 2, you can easily access the left top fire button as well as the left bumper button on the back end of the controller when the controller is being held this way. The other buttons can be accessed, but the finger placement is not as intuitive. So you'll have to intentionally reach out the fingers of the right hand to press the right top fire button as well as the right bumper button on the back end of the controller. In fact, I've used my pinky to get at the right bumper button, which has taken a bit of adapting. So with practice, you can use the 4 buttons to play multi-button games, like let's say 1943, The Battle of Midway, which is found on a Capcom arcade cabinet, which I downloaded quite a while back on my PS3 from the Sony store. Alright, so something I've learned about this controller is that the start and select buttons aren't really mapped properly to the PlayStation 3 start and select. So in this game, it says push start button. I'm pressing all the buttons, the start, the select, nothing's happening. So apparently that's an issue. I'm going to have to unplug this, which I've already done, and plug this in, my DualShock 3. Once it's plugged in, it'll be assigned to controller port number 1. You can now press the start button, and let's go ahead and unplug it. Okay, so now that I unplugged it, it's still assigned to controller number 1. How are we going to fix that? Well, press and hold that home button and go to turn off the controller. And now you can plug your Hyperkin Trooper 2 in to controller port 1. And this button up on the right is the cross or X button, so I'm going to hit that to get back into the gameplay, and it should work. All right, here we go. Return to game, and we're just waiting for the game to get started. I'll play a little bit. So this left button is firing, and when there's a lot of planes on screen, you can press the right button and that zaps them all. And of course, if you want to do the barrel roll or whatever, you flip the plane over, you press 2 buttons at once, and it will get you to do that. So it's only got multi-button capability for multi-button games, fortunately. All right, so you're getting the idea. I'm going to go ahead and show you another multi-button game that might be kind of interesting to play on my PS3, and that one's called Vanguard. So I got the Trooper 2 connected to my PlayStation 3, and this actually represents the left thumbstick of a DualShock 3 controller, not the D-pad. Because of that, there's an issue with playing PS1 games in a PS3. Take a look at the description below and I'll explain that a little further if you're curious about that. That was one aspect that I was like really kind of wanting to show you, is some PlayStation 1 classic game compilations like Atari, Anthology, those kinds of games. Not going to work, but you can play PS3 games with the controller, so that's what we're going to do. And so I'm going to go over here to check out this game Vanguard. All right, so once again, I have plugged in my DualShock 3 in order to get the game started, and we will pursue that here. All right, press the start button. There we go. I'm going to pause this game. Once again, we want to turn this controller off. Okay, it's off. Plug the Trooper 2 back in. Now mind you, when playing this game with the PlayStation DualShock 3, it's pretty intuitive. You're basically taking the ship and moving it around with the thumbstick, and then the cross or X button will shoot down, circle shoots right, square left, and triangle up. Okay, so it's pretty innately set so you can figure it out pretty easily. So these buttons are all different, okay? So you're going to fire forward with this left button, and then the up and down will be done, I think, with this one and maybe that one, and backwards is, I think, this one. I'm not sure, but we're going to find out here in a minute. Okay, so yeah, firing to the right is that. That's up, that's back, that's down. So you're going to have to take a little time to get used to this. All right. Another one. In my childhood, I played a whole lot of Atari 2600 Vanguard, and in that version, the direction you shoot is congruent with the direction you fly your ship. Needless to say, this is a pretty simplified way to play Vanguard, and just not as ideal as what fans of the original arcade were enjoying. As a kid, I wasn't too bothered by this, but it did cross my mind that having a 2600 controller designed to play Vanguard would be really cool. So I guess when it comes to Vanguard, I have reached the next level of control. And pretty awesome that I can play this game with all these multiple buttons on a 2600 type controller. Oh, whew, tough. Wow. All right, so you can tell it's going to take some adapting, and I'm going to have to work on that. All right, I want to show you another system that we can play some games on with the Trooper 2. Okay, I've got my Trooper 2 hooked up to my laptop submitting a signal to my 32-inch Samsung, and we're going to play Atari Anniversary Edition Volume 2 on the PC. And in fact, I'm thinking Asteroids Deluxe might be good. I've already pre-configured the controller to have this as its fire button, and I'm going to hit with my pinky this little shoulder button, or the bumper on the right, to do shield. And then pressing up can make him thrust. This will also thrust as well. All right, let's roll. Hitting that pinky button lets me hit a shield. Asteroids Deluxe. With a 2600 controller, it seems to be working great. There we go. Oh ho ho. Ah, I should have hit that shield. Ooh. All right, let's try another PC game. All right, we've got my Trooper 2 hooked up to my laptop, and we're going to be playing a little Ms. Pac-Man Quest for the Golden Maze. Released in 2001 by Namco. I don't know if any of you have ever seen this before. It's kind of, it's basically Ms. Pac-Man with a little bit of power-ups and a unique look to it. So we'll try it out and see what we think. All right, it's controlling just like a regular old Pac-Man game. I don't think you have to use any buttons in this game. It's just all about the maze running. Now, one thing I will notice, or say that I'm noticing about the controller, is that it has a really smooth feel to it, okay? And I think that's intentionally done. It's unique. A lot of classic game controllers, you know, either had a stiff feel that wasn't all that smooth. Oh, whoops. Or, you know, you had the little thunky or clicky, you know, feel to each direction. But no, this is actually a really smooth feel, which doesn't seem to be affecting me in any negative way. Oh. Boy, they sure don't give me a lot of time to catch these, do they? Oh, yikes. Oh, that was close. All right, Got some background music here, kind of some jazz, Ms. Pac-Man music here. Get you in the mood to play a little of the yellow ball. Oh my. So that must just be an entry point. I tried to go through it and it did not work. All right, here we go. Get that blue one. I don't think I'm going to get... Oh, yeah, got him. Wait. Here we go. That's a free-for-all here. That blue one did not... Or green one didn't change blue. Oh, no. Game over. Okay. Now, another game system that I have is called the Ouya, which is an Android-based console from, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And I downloaded a ton of games on it, and actually I got it from a thrift store for like 20 bucks. But while the Ouya store was up and running, I did manage to get a lot of demos, and I didn't really buy any games. I might have bought one, but I just downloaded as much free stuff as I could before the thing went kaput. So we'll give it a try. Maybe I'll find a fun game to play with this Trooper 2. Well, all right, I've got my Ouya out, and it's connected to its own controller, which will allow this game to work, but I've also got the Trooper 2 connected, so let's go ahead and get the game started. I had to configure the buttons to work properly, and the reset button for the Atari 2600 emulator had to get assigned to the start button on the controller, which was actually easy to do, fortunately. Ah, too close to me. All right. Now, I played a lot of this game as a kid, so I should be able to use those skills still to this day. Oh, you almost hit the other tank. Yeah. All right. So I have to say, I am really getting used to the feel of this controller. It really feels a lot like my original Atari 2600 controller. I definitely like it. That smooth feeling of moving it and changing directions is certainly becoming something I'm more used to. I'm kind of the type who really likes a clicky joystick, but I have to say the smooth feeling is growing on me. And I think if you guys get this, you're probably going to agree with me that it's a nice controller. And it seems pretty durable. I'm not doubting it's going to last for quite a while. I sure hope it does. Let's see if we can get him. All right. Okay, so yeah, lots of fun with the Ouya, with the emulators I have on board. Got a number of emulators and original games as well. It's a really fun little console to have in my collection. Android-based, you know, it runs all sorts of software. All right, so I hope you did enjoy the episode. If you did, definitely leave me a thumb up and feel free to share the video if you're into these new kind of controllers. I'm sure there are other people out there who would like to know about it, and you can definitely share this video if you would like. And give me a comment below if you have decided to go ahead and purchase it. Give me your ideas about what you're playing with it, and some new games that you've never used an Atari controller with. By all means, let me know what you're playing, and I might see if I could give it a try as well. All right, so that's about it for today. I look forward to sharing another video with you here in the next couple of weeks. We're going to go back to the classics, so I look forward to sharing that with you. All right, so have some fun out there, and we'll talk later. Thanks.